or are we really fighting an uphill battle by, wearing fashionable shoes and forgetting how to walk barefoot from a young age?
I think that there is a lot of financial gain to sell shoes to people that grow out of them every 4 months or 3 months. And they cost the same as like grown-up shoes. And they're like a half of or a third of the material. So I think that little kids should go barefoot as much as possible. That's why I think a lot of these martial arts are great, because they're done barefoot on mats. So you can build some foot strength, you can build some single leg balance, you can build some intrinsic foot control because you're barefoot on a less than stable surface, because those mats aren't super stable. Um, but I do think that in absence of birth defects like clubfoot or tarsal coalition, things like that, that I think that we are meant to walk with our heel on the same plane as our forefoot. We are meant to be able to spread our toes, because you don't do push-ups like this. You can't generate any power. You splay your hands out so you can create torque with the ground. You should be able to like create that gecko foot, spread it out, generate torque with the ground so you can transmit force over a greater area. And if you're crammed into Nike Freeze, you're not going to be able to do that. And I think that the less of a history of trauma that we have as kids, the less we need corrective footwear, because you don't have to make as many concessions, so to speak, to where there are some people that you're using corrective footwear as a temporary intervention until they are able to latch on to the therapeutic benefit of exercise and training around the problem. But with a young kid where their only injuries have been a sunburn and a scrape or a little bit of a bruise, you can avoid a lot of these cases of severs. And in a lot of these kids that just have paddle feet, you're and look at ballerinas when they're young, like they're changing the whole bony architecture of their foot with axial loading if they get put on point too early. But I do think that just normal kids that are running around outside should be in a fairly minimalist zero drop shoe to encourage full development of both the skeletal and the musculo-ligamentous structures in the foot, to avoid long-term problems. Because you reach a certain age to where you have a hard time reeling that back in.
So what about applying that same, these type of shoes directly to an adult, which is, some people promote this idea that if you just give them the space back, give them the barefoot shoe or go barefoot or use toe spacers, that you can restore that foot. Sometimes all I see is more big toe pain often when you try to throw a strategy like that straight at them. So does that, you did kind of tangentially answer this about saying like a short-term intervention with maybe a true orthotic or a motion control shoe or something like that. But what do you think about that idea of, because I personally have, I have a size 15 foot, and I've been jamming my foot into shoes that were always slightly too small my whole life. And if you play sports, every damn shoe is too pointy. Especially football cleats, American football cleats, all these things where they come to a point. And at some point, I'm kind of curious of how much we're sabotaging our own athleticism when you can't grip the ground, as you said kind of beautifully about the push-up idea. We got toes smashed together in these Nike fly wires or whatever the heck they are these days for American football, and we're supposed to be able to cut and do all these things off of that.